Hey guys, Management Channel, and I got it out. So hi guys, Management Channel, and I had to redo that, but I did do part of that. So we're still reading the books. We're doing Marimba Animals A to Z. Marimba Animals from A to Z. Once a year, the singing monkey croons the keepers to sleep at the zoo. When the ting-tang of marimba wakes all the animals on cue. Then the ting-tang of the animals. Then the ting-tang of the marimba wakes all animals on cue. A. A is for animals. Bobcats and bears dance La Bamba, Boros, Bray, Bravo, repeat. C. Let's Congo, says cougars to coyotes, to marimbas ting-tang beat. Seals and frisky dolphins leap over cacti and trees. E. They startle the elephants who ting-tong-tang with chimpanzees. When flamencos practicing flamenco, frogs and fish shimmy and prance. G. Gorillas strum their guitars and gophers country dance. These flamingos. Hippopotamus practice the hula in a happy hula baloo. Iguanas practice the cha-cha to marimbas ting-tong at the zoo. Juancos chirp jaguars. Please taste this delicious blend. Koalas serve chiladas to a hungry orangutan. L. A chorus of lions and llamas samba down the street. Mariachi manatees mambo to marimbas ting tong. Nana goats and nutras gobble salads of nuts and flowers. Otters and ocelots make pinatas for hours and hours. Pandas juggle papayas in the peccaries parade. Scurrying quail and quetzals sell ice-cold lemonade. Raccoons and rhinocerants rumba with rattlesnakes. Sloths and salamanders salsa around the lake. Tigers hear toucans clacking warning with their noisy beaks. Wearing horns like unicorns, horses loudly neigh. Eek eek. Vultures tell vicuñas the keepers are all awake. Woodpeckers warn wapitis, pronto, finish your chocolate cake. Parrots covered xylophones and the calipo Yellowbirds and wacky yaks hide in shrubbery, but then zigzagging through zebras and zebus, zany keepers called Yoo-hoo! And join the singing and dancing to marimbas ting tong at the zoo. The end. Whippets. Zebus. Manatees. Here's George's day at the farm. Today, George and the man with the yellow hat are visiting Jackson's farm. George is ready to have lots of fun. Millie the cow is ready to be milked, and George is going to help. But Mr. Jackson can't find his pail. Where could it be? Look at all the chickens in the hen house. Where have they hidden their eggs? George is curious how many eggs can he count. Oh no, the goats chewed a big hole in the fence. One of the kids is missing. Where is George? The scarecrow doesn't frighten George or the crows. George has an idea to help the scarecrow keep birds away from the crops. Who's hungry? George is, but he helps Mr. Jackson feed the other animals first. Then he enjoys a special treat for just him. Mr. Jackson's harvest. Mr. Jackson harvested green beans, lettuce, celery, potatoes, cauliflower, and more. Which colors does George see? George bounces on a bumpy hay ride out to the pumpkin patch. He picks out the biggest pumpkin he can find to take home. What a wonderful day at the farm. The end. Lion King. As the morning sun rose high over the African plain, animals and birds gathered at the front of Pride Rock. This was a very special day. The animals bowed then when they saw the new prince Simba before them. King Mufasa and Queen Shariba watched as Rafiki, the wise baboon, presented their newborn kingdom. Simba grew into a playful and curious cub. Early one morning, Mufasa brought Simba to the top of Pride Rock. Everything the light touches is our kingdom, he told his son. One day, Simba, the sun will set on my time here and will rise with you as the new king. We are all connected in the great circle of life. Hmm. Later that day, Simba went to see his Uncle Scar. My dad just showed me the whole kingdom, the cub bragged, and I'm going to rule it. Now Scar was angry that he was no longer next in line to be king. He was plotting to get rid of this new prince. He asked shyly if Mufasa had shown him what was beyond the northern border. "Oh no," said Simba sadly. "He said I can't go there. He is obviously right," said Scar. "Far too dangerous. Only the brave lions go where an elephant graveyard is no place for a young prince." Simba didn't see his uncle's evil trap. He decided to show his father what a brave cub he could be. Simba set out to find his best friend Nala and to visit the elephant graveyard that very day. He had no idea that Scar had ordered 3 hyenas to go to the elephant graveyard to kill the new prince. Simba raced ahead across the plains, leading Nala to the forbidden palace place. Eventually, they reached a pile of bones. It's really creepy, said Nala. Simba was about to explore a skull when he saw Zazu, his father's trusted advisor. Zazu commanded them to leave immediately, saying, "We are all in very real danger." But it was already too late. Nala and Simba were trapped by three laughing, drooling hyenas. Simba took a deep breath and tried to roar, but only a squeaky rumble came out. The hyenas laughed even more at that. Took another deep breath, roared. The three hyenas looked around into the eyes of King Mufasa. His giant paw struck one of the hyenas as he growled, "If you ever come near my son again," the hyenas fled howling into the mist before he could finish. Mufasa scolded his son on the way home. "You deliberately disobeyed me. I was just trying to be brave like you," said Simba softly. "Being brave doesn't mean you go looking for trouble," replied Mufasa. The moon shone brightly over them, and the stars twinkled in the dark sky. Mufasa stopped. "Look at the stars. The great kings of the past look down on us from those stars. So whenever you feel alone, just remember that those kings will always be there to guide you. So will I." Meanwhile, Scar came up with another plan to get rid of King Mufasa and Simba. Scar led Simba toward a deep gorge. Then Scar signaled the hyenas to frighten a herd of wildebeest. The wildebeest stumbled toward Simba. Hearing the thunder of hooves, Mufasa raced to the rescue. "Hold on, Simba!" he cried. The king rescued his son, but he could not save himself, nor for Scar pushed him into the stampede of wildebeest. When the stampede was over, Simba ran to his father's side. "Daddy," whimpered, nuzzled Mufasa's mane. But the king did not reply, and Simba started sobbing. "Simba," said Scar coldly, "what have you done? The king is dead, and if it weren't for you, he'd still be alive. What will your mother think? Run away, Simba, run away and never return." Heartbroken, poor Simba ran away as fast as he could. Scar was certain that Simba would never come back. He returned to take the royal throne at Pride Rock for himself. Meanwhile, Simba was far away from the Pride Lands. The ground turned dry and cracked beneath him. The hot sun beat down as vultures circled above his head. Exhausted and unable to go any further, Simba slumped to the ground. After a long while, Simba awoke. Everything around him looked different. There were trees and grass and flowers instead of desert. A meerkat named Timon and a warthog named Pumbaa had brought him to their home. "You nearly died," said Pumbaa. "I saved you," added Timon. "Well, Pumbaa helped." "Thanks for your help," said Simba, but he thought, "It doesn't matter. I've got nowhere to go." He began to walk away. "Where you going?" asked him Timon. Kindly. "Nowhere," said Simba. "Anything we can do," said Puma. "Not unless you can change the past. You gotta put your past behind you," said Timon. "Repeat after me. Hakuna Matata. It means no worries," said Pumbaa. Simba decided to stay in the jungle with his new friends. Years passed and Simba grew into a young lion. He lived a happy, carefree, no worries life with his friends. But one day something happened that was not a no worry situation. A fierce lioness was about to spring into Puma, Pumbaa, who was stuck under a tree root. "She's going to eat me," squealed Pumbaa. Simba rushed over to help. Simba wrestled with the lioness, but then realized she was his old friend Nala. You're alive, she said happily. What means that means you're the king. Nala told Simba how Scar destroyed the Pride Lands. Simba, if you don't do something soon, everyone will starve. I can't go back. You wouldn't understand, said Simba. Nala was disappointed in her friend. Don't you understand? You're our only hope. Nala turned and left her friend alone. That night Simba lay by a stream thinking. He heard a noise and looked up. It was Rafiki. I know who you are, said Rafiki. You're Mufasa's boy. He's alive. I'll show him to you. You follow Rafiki. Come on. Simba followed Rafiki and wandered to the edge of the stream. As Simba looked into the water, his reflection changed shape and became his father's. He heard Mufasa's voice from the stars. Simba, remember who you are. You are my son and the one true king. Then the reflection and Rafiki disappeared. I am going back, declared Simba. Meanwhile, back at the Pride Land, storm clouds gathered and a lightning bolt scorched the earth as the dry grasses caught fire. Huge flames swept towards Pride Rock and a lion appeared through the smoke. It was Simba. Scar lunged at Simba, determined to kill him, just as he had Mufasa. Timon and Pumbaa joined in the fierce battle that followed as the lionesses drove back the hyenas. Simba finally heaved Scar over a cliff. Scar landed to find himself surrounded by drooling hyenas. Simba was victorious. Simba took his rightful place as the Lion King, and once again the land flourished. One, one dawn, the animals and birds made their way again to the foot of Pride Rock. Rafiki picked up a teeny cub. He showed the new princess, the daughter of King Simba and Queen Nala, to the cheering crowd below. The circle of life would continue. The end. The Hanukkah Mice. From inside the walls of a cozy house, young Milly, Molly, and Martin Mouse heard the tale of the wondrous Hanukkah lights and the miracle that kept them aglow for 8 nights. On the first night of Hanukkah, Milly Mouse said, "Let's explore now that everyone else is in bed." "I see something shiny," said Molly. "Let's be quick," for she had discovered the Hanukkah candlestick. On the second night, Marty Mouse gave a shout. "Oh, look what I found when I ventured out." "Show us," said Mamma. My mouse skin so bold. He found chocolate coins all covered with gold. The third night, all three of them quickly crept out, determined to find what they'd heard all about. But they followed their noses instead of their eyes and found teeny latkes, tasty latkes A lovely surprise. On night number 4, young Milly held tight to something she'd found, all shiny and bright. But it isn't the lights, she said with a grin she had brought home. A dreidel to twirl and to spin. On night number 5, the mice tiptoed out, and soon little Molly gave a great shout. Hurry and scurry on your little mouse feet. She found yummy doughnuts, a wonderful treat. The next day they said, there's just 2 more nights to find those magical Hanukkah lights. Look, cried Marty, there's something that glows. He found shiny presents all tied up with bows. When the 7th night came, the mice looked around. The Hanukkah lights just couldn't be found. We mustn't give up. The story is true, but with just 1 night left, what were they to do? The eighth night, the eighth night of the eighth night of Hanukkah brought a surprise. A wonderful vision greeted their eyes. Come on, said Mama, and stay very near. I've discovered the Hanukkah lights are right here. The end. Hide and peek. Want to play a guessing game? A letter marks each flap. Read the rhymes with all the clues. Guess the answers in a snap. It's curly and red, it's so good for you. It tastes great in pies and in cookies too. She buzzes around flowers, she's striped gold and black. She makes tasty honey and eats for a snack. She stretches and purrs, she looks to drink milk. She loves to drink milk, she has lots of fur that feels just like silk. He barks, jumps, and growls from winter to fall. He chases his tail and he loves to play ball. Apple, bee, cat, dog. It sits in a nest and says not a word. It has a hard shell, this soon to be bird, with colorful petals and fresh leaves of green. They look very pretty and make a nice scene. He's got horns and a beak, and he loves a good snack. He might give you a push, so don't turn your back. With a swish of her tail, she gallops away. She turns like the wind as she lets out a neigh. With 6 little legs, it can crawl on the ground, but it also's got wings for getting around. Egg, flowers, goat, horse. In this cat's this big spotty cat can run really fast. When running a race, she never comes in last. This skinny green reptile has 4 legs and a tail. He lunches on bugs and sometimes on a snail. A sky-flying diamond, it looks like a sail. It dives and it tugs and waves its long tail. You might see this creature when you're out for a walk. She lives in a hole and squeaks when she talks. Jaguar, lizard, kite, mouse. Baby birds live up here in a home made of twigs. Their mama feeds them worms until they get big. In the darkness of night, he starts, stares at the ground, then he blinks and he hoots and he flies all around. She wallows in the she wallows in mud, her tail's curly and short. When she is happy, she'll grunt and she'll snort. With a cottony tail and two furry ears, she'll hop away quickly when someone comes near. This beautiful bird's top feather stands tall. If you walk in the woods, you may hear his call. Nest, owl, pig, rabbit, quail. They've got bushy tails, this intelligent bunch. Peanuts and acorns are what they munch. Look inside this chest, and soon you'll see what surprises await you beside the big tree. When it starts to rain, raise this in the air. It keeps all the raindrops from wetting your hair. This instrument makes music with strings and with a bow. You can choose the kind of music, playing fast or playing slow. Violin, umbrella, treasure, squirrels. He lives by the water, where it's snowy and cold, with tusks and whiskers. He's a sight to behold. It plays lively music when it hits with a stick. Each note will ring out as you give it a click. You spin this thing out, it comes back to your hand. It's a toy on a string, it's really quite grand. He's black with white stripes, or is it black stripes on white? This guy's fuzzy coat is such a good sight. Zebra, yo-yo, walrus, and xylophone. That's the last of the clues. And what did you find? You and Heideke learn your letters, Fun and Ron. Heideke says thank you for helping him with the guessing game. Let's see how many letters can you name. The end.